What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Patterson Report podcast. As always, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan, son of a bitch. And today we have this very special guest who, if you've been following the pod for a while, has been on every time there's big Eagles news, every time there's big news happening in the city. We have to bring in Aiden. Aiden is the genius behind the Life of a Philly Fan page, which is one of my favorite Philly fan pages. It's not a blog. It's not a news stat. It's not all these, hot takes. It is just the things I'm thinking when I'm watching these games personified. So if you want to find an account you can relate to, an account that tweets awesome content, check out Aiden at Life of a Philly Fan. It doesn't ever let you down. Aiden, welcome back.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Important point to be on this show a week away from Banner Night. And I'm glad you said that about Philly Fan Life, because that is the premise behind the account. Is it should be how you're feeling in any current moment. It's not a hot take. It's literally just, if Micah gets traded, this is what we're saying. If we get swept at Citi Field, this is how we're feeling. If we score 12 runs in the first 4 innings, this is how we're feeling. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it is the voice of the fan, and you brought it up. We don't bury the lead around here. Micah Parsons, obviously today is the biggest news. He gets traded from the Cowboys to the Packers in exchange for a pair of firsts, and he gets a fat payday out in Green Bay to the tune of $47 million per year. We'll get to the money in a second and how that may affect the Eagles next offseason. But just the immediate reaction of, the Cowboys giving up on your franchise, dare I say generational defensive talent in the division, in the NFC, over seemingly something pretty trivial. Aiden, since you run this, this fan reaction page, what was your initial reaction when you saw the news?
I quite literally laughed out loud, especially because I host a podcast with a Cowboys fan. So just knowing that fan base was on the final straw and this was it, and seeing how it played out, I genuinely thought we were going to come on this podcast tonight and I was going to say about how Michael will be on the field on Thursday. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to be playing for the Cowboys in week 1. And lo and behold, Jerry Jones does it again, and he'll be in Green Bay and he gets his payday.
I'm running out of words because I saw some awesome tweets about how one of them was like, thank God Jerry Jones has access to the greatest medical care money can buy, because as long as he's breathing and as long as he's running the Cowboys, we have nothing to worry about as long as they're in the division. He will continue to screw things up. Seemingly this was all over the fact that he just didn't want to deal with an agent, which I don't know how things run in Dallas. Maybe your co-host would know better than me, but it seems really bizarre to draw that line in the sand when every other team deals through an agent. And I'm certain that Dallas has gone through an agent before. There's no way Dak negotiated his own mega deal. So why now?
It's crazy that in Dallas, every person who is in the front office for their franchises is just on a power struggle between Nico Harrison and now Jerry Jones, trading away star players just to prove a point and making their teams worse so that they perceive that they look better. I saw a tweet and you mentioned some funny ones. It was like, it is hilarious that they traded away a generational edge rusher because they didn't respect a handshake deal like some railroad worker in 1863. Like, it's just insane that is how he thinks how things operate. And you wouldn't involve an agent in the course of what ended up being $188 million. Like, yeah, maybe somebody with some expertise in that field should read through those documents before signing on the dotted line.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. And I mean, that's obviously like the harebrained part of it, wondering like how could it get to this point. But one of the reasons I love having Ryan on the show is because I'm an emotional person. Like, I see it, I react, I'm like, dude, this is insane. This makes no sense. What the hell are we doing? And then if I need somebody to explain exactly why things don't make sense, I need to, Ryan, why is this a terrible move as far as
I don't know if I got answers for this one, buddy.
No, why is it a bad idea?
I don't think I got the answers here.
We need somebody who operates with logic but I don't know if logic was used in this trade.
There's no NFL draft lottery to save Jerry this time. Like it saved Nico. So
True.
Yeah, dude. Imagine just being a Dallas sports fan. I mean, you lost your two heroes in the span of a year, and you got absolutely nothing in return. I mean, I don't know which return was worse. I mean, the Mavs got what was left of Anthony Davis, depending on how healthy he was, and Dallas gets it's 2 firsts, but you just made the Packers perennial contenders. Those firsts are going to suck. They're between 20 and 30. I don't think we can say it enough. A generational edge rusher.
In his prime.
26 years old.
And it's not like they traded for Trey Hendrickson, who, albeit very productive, is now 30 going on 31. We're talking about Micah Parsons on his rookie deal.
I keep forgetting. The rookie deal I almost forgot about because, I mean, he wants a raise relatively early. Like, they had a couple more years of team control if they could find a way to, much like the Eagles do, like, just extend these guys. Put that money down the line, kick the can down the road. I'm sure it's more complicated than it seems, but, I mean, I look at the way Howie manipulates these monster deals, especially Jalen's. And we were talking before you even came on, like, when he goes to eventually sign Jalen Carter, I mean, Dallas fans are going to be sick when they see the first 2-3 years of that cap hit are $8, $10, $11 million.
Yeah, for sure. If you think about it, this is actually the perfect example because Devontae Smith had his contract extension done last offseason, and they were the same draft class. They were traded pretty much essentially for each other in that draft. Micah's deal was not done, never got done. Devontae's been locked up for over a calendar year now. It's crazy the order of operations between these two franchises.
Yeah, and Devontae at a reduced rate. I mean, he's a wide receiver one on a lot of teams, and he's being paid like there's teams that their wide receiver two's making considerably more than Devontae. Now that's also a testament to him and just won enough money to get by and want the team to be good. And just the kind of culture the Eagles have, but it's also a testament to getting the deal done early. I mean, I'll jump across the parking lot for a second before we come back to the link, but one of the best things that the Phillies ever did was, they're paying Chris Sanchez like he's a 5. I mean, he's making single digits as an ace. So when you lock these guys up early, you save yourself so much money in the long run.
Especially the way deals continue to go up. So every year you see like the records broken, especially the quarterbacks, wide receivers, all these like big name positions. So if it seemed like a lot, then it's gone up, it'll go up 2 times, 3 times as much, especially with the new TV deals. So them getting that done, like that'll be a bargain bin deal. And when we look at it 2 years from now.
Yeah, that's what Howie's doing. I mean, the CBA is coming up soon, and he's aligning all of his contracts when that mega raise is going to come with a new TV deal and a new bargaining agreement. So Howie's doing it perfect. Jerry doesn't know what he's doing. So
they're not doing it at all. He's just there.
Yeah, it's when you pit the two GMs against each other, I think it's a pretty easy comparison where Howie clears by a country mile. I think if you put him up against most NFL GMs, it's Howie by a comfortable margin.
For sure.
But since we are playing, we're exactly a week away from the opening of the season. It just feels poetic that the season opens with Cowboys and Eagles. Would have been better if we were seeing them at full strength, but I'll still enjoy kicking their ass regardless.
No doubt.
Beyond the GM room, we have the edge. Let's kind of take a look at that matchup and see, where the Eagles come out ahead, where the Cowboys come out ahead, if anywhere. I mean, looking at the two rosters side by side, it could be a clean sweep Philly-wise.
Yeah.
But where do you guys see if there is any weaknesses with this Eagles team versus any strength with this Cowboys team?
The one that I can think of really is George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. We love Quinyon, right? But I think that CB2 is really untested right now. Nobody proved theirself in training camp. Quite honestly, in the preseason games, it felt like the opposite. Albeit not many people in the league fare well covering Jamar Chase, but it was very rough watching Kaylee Ringo cover him. Yeah. So that matchup right there. And this is a Dallas team that They don't have much of a running game. This is going to be a totally new offensive line. Maybe Tyler Guyton does play. If he doesn't, they have a rookie starting. It's the first time in a decade they won't have Zach Martin. I genuinely think a lot of games this year, including this game, you're going to look up and Dak's going to have thrown it 48 times. So I think their one path to victory is to almost turn this into an old school Oklahoma State air raid attack. That's going to test some of these guys like our CB2 and even our safeties, which I'm assuming based on the health of Andrew Makuba will be Sidney Brown, which is one of his first starts as well. So that if we're talking like weakness, that is probably where I see the path to victory, if possible, for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's our biggest glaring weakness is CB2. I'm still not sure, unless I could be mistaken, if we've really landed on a firm one.
True.
I mean, I thought, Bennett's looked better than most. Ringo was the favorite to have the job coming in. From everything I've heard, I'm blank on the name from the Giants, has done everything he can to play his way out of the role.
Adoree Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Vic's been pretty brutal on him publicly with just kind of saying, look, if he wants to play, we haven't seen it yet. So, I mean, our best bet at CB2 might be a guy that only was going to get half of a camp with the Eagles, which is concerning at best. And then the safety room, to your point, I mean, we don't go and re-sign Marcus Epps, who we voluntarily let leave the building at one point because things are great back there.
Yeah, and I think part of that too, I think they're still pretty high on Makuba. I doubt he's ready for week one, and a rookie, I feel like, who's dealing with a hamstring injury, you're probably not rushing him back to be on the field week one. That could be detrimental in so many ways in terms of growth, in terms of health. So I think Marcus Epps, as a veteran, I'm assuming Sidney Brown starts. I love Sidney Brown. Injury risk. He plays like a torpedo at all times, which is fun, but he's just not the size to be able to do that all the time. So I can foresee him playing a quarter, torpedoing a guy, and then we need Marcus Epps to play.
1,000%. I'm not a high level football player. I played in middle school. I do believe my tackling form might be as good, if not slightly better than that of Sidney Brown. He gets guys down, but to your point, he just launches his head at people.
he honestly, I don't even know if he has a tackling form. It truly is to just launch himself as hard as he can at somebody.
Whenever I watch him on the football field, I think of that gif of Ralph Wiggum flying through the front window. And that's just kind of how he plays football. It is fully horizontal, head first at a person, hoping for the best.
He's also like those viral videos you see of trains, somebody sees the railroad crossing sign, still goes through it, gets stuck, and the train can't slow down. So they just obliterate full speed into a tractor trailer. That's how he plays. I can't slow down. I'm just going to have to obliterate whatever's in front of me and see what happens.
Yeah, he's a risk in general, but I think maybe outside of those positions, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you have both teams' depth charts almost memorized at this point.
I'm looking at them right now. I have the Eagles memorized. I don't have the Cowboys memorized. I'll tell you that much.
I can't think of another hole. Are you seeing one when you look at it on the screen?
I was gonna give a shout to right guard because Tyler Steen's, relatively new. Obviously, Mekhi Becton played last year. The one strength of maybe Dallas' defense is the interior. They just traded for Kenny Clark. He's been kind of not so great the past couple of years. He's kind of over the hill a little bit, but Osa Odigizua, who's pretty impressive last year, he's going to be a challenge for Tyler Steen. So that's another matchup I wanted to shout out. It might be a little tough, but besides that, I got nothing.
I think that's a good one. Tyler Steen now he did get some playing time last year because Mekhi Becton had a few injuries, but this is his real first time. You're getting 17 games of duty. You are the starter. So I'll be interested to see how he plays overall. It'll be a good test for him because we've had a limited sample size. I think the sample size we've had is good, but again, pretty limited.
Yeah, definitely limited. But I think that's it, though. I don't think we're going to come up with any other ones because this Cowboys roster is pretty weak.
I thought about this today, and this is going to be an insane analogy. But if you guys are history buffs, Civil War, when it started, the South was actually winning because they were just better at military strategy. They had better generals. In the end, the North won because they were like, the final battle was them just being like, oh yeah, we have more guys and guns. Like we can just, if we just line up, we can just withstand because we have more people, we have more guns. That's how I feel thinking about this Eagles team. Like I was thinking about Micah playing or not, and I was like, why am I worried? Like we just have more better players. We have more depth. We're better at every position possible. Like we just outgun them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's so refreshing to watch because like we're sitting here really trying to think about it like a weakness against other teams. And you're right, it's just don't beat yourself. Like you don't even need your A game. If this Eagles team plays their B game against most teams, it's a 10-11 win season. Like the bar isn't overly high. For once we're not starting over on defense. I don't think the offensive play caller change is going to make that big of a difference. It's not somebody from outside the building. It's someone Jalen's already comfortable with. Like it really is. I forget who used the analogy, but like the Eagles, if you're Nick Sirianni, like the Eagles are a Ferrari. Like just steer. You don't got to hit the gas. You don't got to Tokyo drift this thing. Just steer us straight ahead.
Just straight. I agree. I totally agree. It's the same offense. You know how to drive the car. There's gas in the car. Just steer it straight.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, you're deep enough. On the offensive line, you hope there's no other injuries because we're less deep than we have been previously. Although I do like that we brought Fred Johnson back, just because he can play both guard spots. And again, hopefully we never need him. I think the biggest thing I'm looking for as far as health goes is if we can get a full season out of Dallas Goedert. If he can find a way to stay healthy and not force us to – even though Grant Calcaterra played pretty well last year, when you talk about the weapons that we have, we're 4 deep at receiver now with Mechie. If you keep Dallas Goedert for a full season, he's probably conservatively a top 8 tight end in football. You could argue higher. The whole offense becomes a cheat code if he's around for a full year, which hasn't happened in a long time.
It's also big for him too, right? Like he came back this year as a huge trade candidate, and now he's on the final year of that deal, kind of got reworked, but there's no solidified future for him at this time. So it would make a lot of sense for him financially. If he stays healthy for 17 games, he could bankroll that into 2 or 3 more years. I don't know if it'll be here, but hey,
we got to pay a lot of people.
I know. Yeah, we need that new CBA because there's some guys coming down the pike that are going to need some contract extensions.
Yeah, Q ain't going to be cheap. Neither is Coop. Jalen Carter is going to break the bank. Eventually, you're going to probably have to deal with Jordan Davis. That defense is super cheap right now, and that's why the window is wide open. But they are going to get really expensive really quickly.
Nolan Smith is another one too. Literally half the defense.
Yeah, true. His rookie deal coming up to an end. Dean's got to be getting close, right?
Very close. I don't know. I think it's this year.
I don't know
right?
if we're going to resign
next year.
Yeah, there's going to be some tough. I'm enjoying it right now. I saw some on ESPN where they listed like the top 10 most expensive defenses, and we didn't even make the list. And we had one of the best defenses in football last year.
I'm pretty sure they're in dead last,
which is
defensive standard.
Hilarious. Hey, that is the beauty of drafting well.
And who would ever think back to whenever the hell the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside draft was or the Jalen Reagor draft was? Who would have ever thought we'd be sitting here one day going, God, the way Howie drafts is a cheat code. He just doesn't miss. Because, God, he used to miss all the goddamn time. Yeah. But once he figured out the cheat code of just, look, go down to the SEC, get their biggest and best boys, and then bring them to Philly and develop them, it has worked every single time.
That's actually good comparing it to now where Jerry Jones kind of got criticized. So he's like doubled and tripled down on this strategy of not paying guys ahead of time, ending up in these like long contract extension talks. And he just does it because he's like, no, it is my way. I've been doing this for 40 years. Whereas Howie got criticized and he completely changed his draft strategy to kind of fit and adapt and survive. Now it's beyond survive. He's thriving. The 2023 draft class, it's all starters. Now that Steen and Sidney Brown are starters, and Ojomo is going to be a starter as well. So it's like, you're right. He totally just figured it out. It's like, oh yeah, Devontae Smith won a Heisman and a national championship at Alabama.
Get him in.
I'll take my chances. He might also be good at football in the NFL. Like it feels like a good strategy to bank on.
Yeah, instead of, oh, dude, there's this lanky, light-skinned kid, played at Stanford, wasn't great, but had some flashes. I think we should hitch our wagon to him. Or, Jalen Reagor, this tiny, undersized kid at TCU, didn't play anybody, but put up good numbers. He'll be fine. Like, he was trying to be the smartest guy in the room.
And that's the thing, is like him not being the smartest guy in the room actually makes you the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, realizing where you were wrong and pivoting. Like he did with Kenyon Green. I mean, I saw people on social media blasting him for the deal, the trade, rare how he missed. How do you trade CJ, GJ, and then give up on the guy you traded for him? That's exactly what I wanted them to do. If somebody's not worthy of a roster spot, cut your losses. You made a mistake and move on from it. Don't keep trying to shoehorn somebody in and then cost a roster spot for somebody who might have just made the team, but, could be a great contributor. Cooper could have a huge year. He probably doesn't get that roster spot if you keep some projects that are never going to play.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so we're 22 minutes. That was a lot longer Birds, Boys than I expected. But I want to get this out of the way now because I want to close on a high note because Ryan and I have closed on a bunch of sad notes lately.
Every week it seems like a sad note.
So we're going to get this out of the way now, and then we're going to address the beatdown in Atlanta to close the show. But just that Mets series, Ryan and I were kind of talking about it. For me, that took the wind out of my sails for the rest of the season. This team could win the division. This team could win the division by 10 games for all I care. That showed me all I needed to know about the postseason, that as soon as things go sideways again, it's going to be Diamondbacks all over again. It's going to be the Mets of 2024 over again. This team still doesn't have whatever that thing is that when stuff starts to go sideways, you can right the ship.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let me preface this. I am the most positive Phillies fan that there is. 99th percentile. I don't really go here or there over a 162 game season. After that series, it's really hard for me to look in the face of the people who are like we get comments on that in Philly Fan Life all the time. We'll tweet out a highlight of a Kyle Schwarber home run, and they're like, well, he has to do it in October. And I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. But so do the Padres. So do the Brewers. Every team has to do it in October.
Yeah.
I'm not going to not root for the team in July because in October they have to do it. But it's really hard for me to look at those people after that series in New York and say to them, yeah, I'm fully confident in October, because here's my big problem. They were up 2-1 against the Astros in 2022, lost the series. They were up 2-0 against the Diamondbacks in 2023, lost the series. Also, we're up 3-2 going home, still lost the series. And I know this is the regular season, but they're up 7 in the division. And if we get Mets fans on our timeline all the time, they were worried that they weren't going to make the playoffs last week, that the Reds were going to catch them after they lost 2-3 to the Nats. They were dead. That fan base didn't believe, that team didn't believe, and they opened the door again. Just once could this Phillies team just step on somebody's neck. They're so talented, but they just don't step on people's necks when they have to. And that is the most frustrating part. Even in that series, they take a 3-0 lead. They blow that. They have a momentum swing to tie at 5-5. They go cold the last 2 innings. They blow that. It's just it's infuriating for them to constantly have the boxer in the corner out of gas and then let them off the ropes.
Yeah. And I was talking to a coworker today. This team needs a Pat Burrell. It needs a Chase Utley. It needs it needs that fire somewhere. I love Kyle Schwarber to death. I think he is invaluable, and he's a great locker room resource. He's the reason they have this great college culture they all talk about. This is not a negative about Kyle Schwarber. It is just a realization that he's not that guy. He's a phenomenal player, but at the end of that game, when they're talking to him in the dugout, I don't need a level head right now. It's what drove me nuts about Andy Reid at the end of his Eagles tenure. I need somebody to be mad. I know that it's just a series. I know you're going to come back. I know it's going to be fine. But when you tell me you're not worried, I'm like, I shouldn't be more worried than you. I shouldn't be on my couch more angry than you are, who just got embarrassed in front of your biggest rival. And it drives me nuts.
They optically, they drive me insane sometimes. Like that series is a perfect example. You've struggled against the Mets. They ended your series a year ago. Here's what you're doing in the series. Your starting pitcher, your now ace, is kicking the trash can. The third baseman is complaining about microphones in the outfield. Taijuan Walker, you need a good start from him so you don't get swept. He's complaining about people or who were in his eye and the on deck circle while he's playing. It's like you guys got swept, blew 2 leads, and acted like children the entire time. It's like optically, you guys don't get it sometimes. And I don't know what it is about Citi Field that they go up there and just look like the Bad News Bears and just look like children. And it's crazy because they're actually so good. Like if you look at their stats, they're pretty good on the road compared to other teams. They've been really good against teams with like they're going to make the playoffs, especially the rest of the NL. And then they go there and it is just a mystery box of how are they going to blow it this time.
Yeah. And I think it's gotten in their heads a little bit.
Very much. That frustrates me a lot.
I didn't mind the Christopher Sanchez blow up in the dugout. Was it great optically? No, it did look a little bit childish for sure. But when I look around at the rest of the team and everybody's kind of, ho-hum, the camera's the reason, the on-deck circle's the reason, whatever the reason might be. Oh, it's a bad series. We'll get him next time. Rob and his bullshit. Oh, the kid threw strikes. I know, Rob. I don't care. I'd like to see that Chris Sanchez feels the pressure that he's under because he is your new number one. So I didn't take the trash can as him as like a tantrum or anything. I think he was one of the few people that took that loss as hard as I would like him to. Now come back and put it out of your head. But in that moment, I want to see that you're mad at yourself. You should be mad at yourself. You're the ace of this team. And in that moment, you did let the team down.
It's one of those things. It's like, okay, and this is why tonight is good. It's a lead by example type of thing where, okay, you were frustrated. You didn't do well on the road. You kicked the trash can. Saturday, I'd love to see a quality start, back to 7 innings, total control and command with his sinker and his changeup and everything like that. He's had the best changeup all year. Let's get back to that. Let's have 7 innings of 1 earned runs again. So it's all about leading by example with these guys where those optics can drive me nuts. But if you a good way to make up for it, especially tonight, is to just hit every ball into the upper deck.
100%. And before we move on to tonight, I think you and I, Aiden, might see a little bit more eye to eye on the optimistic side of the Phillies. I want to kick it to our resident pessimist.
I'm such a pessimist about the Phillies. I'm not about the Eagles, I swear.
Because they could win 5-2 and one of the bullpen guys gives up a run. We'll hop on this podcast and Ryan will be like, dude, we got to fire Topper. I'm sick of this bullpen shit.
I mean, could this team, demeanor be a reflection of Rob? Because Rob doesn't get fired up at all. So maybe I'm just saying that's where my head went after this Mets series. I'm not saying fire him, I swear, not this time. But maybe that is a reflection of the manager, the team demeanor being all calm and, not getting all riled up. So that's just my 2 cents there.
I do think that is a good point. And I think over the course of 162 games, it's good to be level because if you get too high or get too low, like that could burn you out. So I think it's good to be level, but you're right. Like sometimes it comes off as nonchalance to people where you struggle and you get swept. And like last night, it looked like they just wanted to go home. And you can stay level because they know that they can bounce back. But at the time, like it looks like a lack of passion or a lack of fight. I think there are a lot of guys in the lineup. We talked about Schwarber. I think like he's not a hoorah guy. Castellanos certainly, like I think behind the scenes, he's like a good teammate, but he's very nonchalant. Harper screams a little bit, but he's kind of the same. Like there's not many guys who are like the screaming bat slam guy that like send the message.
Yeah, they're sorely in need of, to kick it back across the parking lot. They're sorely in need of a BG. They're in need of what Jason Kelsey was. Honestly, I mean, they're in need of a guy like CJ GJ. Maybe to too much of a degree, but I want my safety to be insane. The greatest safety that that we've ever watched play in an Eagles uniform was an absolute lunatic. To the point where he would be praying for somebody's soul before he sent him home in a stretcher. Like, every team needs that one lunatic to kind of fire everybody else up.
If you're drafting a safety these days, I want a high relative athletic score, and I want you to be mentally unstable on a football field. Like, I should be concerned about your safety at all times, and you should be athletic.
It's like those wide receivers.
Also, knowing where to be on the field is like a solid thing.
It's all right. It's like those wide receivers where it's like, what seat would you sit on the plane? He's like, no, I'd fly the plane.
That's a good one. If you're drafting safeties or wide receivers, you want your safeties to have to be medicated at dinner. You want your wide receivers to be flat earthers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's
every tweet should be like a riddle in National Treasure 3.
That one tweet always comes across the feed.
We got that with AJ Brown. I mean, dude was reading the novel self-help book on the sideline. Like, that's when I knew he was a dog. Stats, damn. If you're reading the novel on the sideline, you're a damn good wideout. But awesome. Well, I promised you a half hour. We did go a little bit over, but I appreciate you sticking with us. I can't speak for your show. I will say for us, we will personally not be on next Thursday because anybody who's watching this show would not be watching it next Thursday, and I understand. So at least for Ryan and I, we will catch you the following Thursday after the Eagles beat the ever-living shit out of the Cowboys. Aiden, will there be a Birds vs. Boys pod next Thursday, or are you on a hiatus as well?
There will be one immediately after the game. We will react to everything that happened. And like you said, let's hope for a win. Let's end it on a positive note tonight. I know the Mets series was rough, but the Phils got us back. And let's continue that into next week. The banner's going to go down saying we're world champions. Let's keep rolling.
Cool. Let's drop the banner, catch all the game. And regardless of how the game goes, if you want to react to it, you want to react to it with people that understand how you're feeling, check out Aiden at Life of a Philly Fan, and then watch the pod, Birds vs. Boys, right?
Yep, Birds vs. Boys pod on YouTube.
Birds vs. Boys pod immediately following the game. It is sure to be a great victory lap for Aiden, and I will personally be watching and cheering on as well. But for tonight, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. That's Aiden. This is the Passing Report. Go Birds.